couple weeks ago, I put a poll on my Instagram stories asking photo booth owners to share their minimum and maximum pricing packages for their photo booth rental services. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was shocked at the results. Before we go any further, I wanna set the expectations for this video. Number one, pricing is super personal and really starts from having the right mindset. So please be open-minded when you watch this video. Number two, I'm not gonna be telling you what you should price your photo booth services at, nor do I see myself as an expert in this whatsoever. But what you can expect from this video are some tips from my experience and some resources that I have used to help me price my services. With that, let's jump right in. My name is Nicole and I own a photo booth business called Own the Moment Booth, and I can honestly say I've lost track of the amount of times that I've changed my prices, my packages, my services. It's been at least 4, but honestly probably more in the last 2 years that I've been in business. And I'll be honest with you guys, when I started my photo booth business, my packages were priced very, very low, like $300 low. And at that time in my life, when I first started, having people pay $300 for a photo booth service seemed so expensive. And that's exactly where my problem was. I placed my own self-limiting beliefs on my business based on what I personally deemed as affordable or expensive. I was in a place in my life where I was hustling to survive, pinching pennies, clipping coupons, and literally doing everything I could to make ends meet. And the reality was there was no way that I could pay that much for a photo booth. But guess what? What I failed to realize was I'm not my business's customer. It took me months and months and months of really deep work on myself, my self-esteem, to get it to a place where I felt confident in what I offered in my business and in the high value services that I wanted to provide people. And this is exactly what I mean about mindset. You have to value yourself. You have to make sure that you don't base your business off of your feelings, you know? Even as I was getting the results in from this question on my Instagram story from photo booth owners, so many people were responding to me saying that they were too embarrassed to share their pricing. And I understood it. I feel that so deeply because I was exactly there. I know exactly what that feels like. And truthfully, like when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. And I'm sure that's what you feel too. But guess what? Most of us don't. When we start, we're starting from nothing. We're starting from zero experience. And if we're starting from experience, we're still learning something new. And this is just kind of part of that journey. Pricing is, like I said in the beginning, so personal, and it is a journey. And it was only once I really started to take every possible second I had to read business books, pore over educational resources, and practice a million times that I started to gain that confidence in myself and in my business and what I was putting out there in the world. I wanted to have an incredible experience that was respected in the community, and I knew that I needed to be so confident in my offer if I wanted to reach that level. So let's talk about some quick steps to establishing your pricing for your business. Step number 1 is make sure you come into this having the right success mindset, and do not allow doubt or fear to stop you, slow you down. Instead, switch that around and use those feelings to propel you to learn more, to practice more, to reach out more. It's only by doing those things repetitively that we can gain that confidence, and that confidence will reflect in everything that we do. I was terrified when I started, and for the next 20 events after that, I still got nervous. But guess what? I practiced and practiced and practiced and learned from my many mistakes, and I learned that that scared feeling is actually so powerful. Some really costly mistakes can happen when you're too comfortable, so that little feeling of fear, I love it because it keeps me going. It shows me that I'm still learning and I'm still growing. If I ever feel too comfortable or even too confident in what I'm doing, then I know it's time to challenge myself a little bit and step a little bit further and try new things. So beyond that, let's get into some practical stuff. So how do you start pricing your services? Well, one way that you've probably heard, I've even shared this myself, is by evaluating your local area and doing some sort of competitive analysis. Find out, are there photo booth businesses in your area? What are they priced at? Does it look like they're busy? Do they have a lot of recent reviews? What's their marketing like? Check out their social media channels. Are they pretty active? Do you see any gaps in what they're doing? Based on this analysis, you can have a baseline of what's expected in your community. So this route isn't a good idea for everyone. For some of you, you may be the first photo booth business in your area, which competitive analysis would be useless. But this is awesome. This means you can set the tone for your industry in your area. So it's a great opportunity. For others, you may find that your area is saturated with businesses and there's probably a wide variety of photo booth businesses in your area. What I hear the most is the complaint that the area is too saturated and competition is too fierce. And that's totally a valid concern. And what I'll say is, this is what I love about the industry. I love it because when there's more people doing the same thing, then there's more opportunity to look at the market and see what new thing you can bring. Look at what's missing and see how you can be the one to bring that into the market. See how you can be the one that offers something new. Competition is there to keep you on your toes. How boring would it be if we didn't have any competition, right? So think of it that way and change your mindset and framework in that way of, hey, if it's a saturated area, great. That means you can be the one to bring something new, add something new to your services, and separate yourself from the rest. Look at it from a different perspective and view it as a challenge for your business to offer something unique that maybe not a lot of other people have done. One of the best ways that I think you can price your business is by starting off with a really, really good understanding of your operational expenses. What on earth does that mean? You have to know how much it costs to run your photo booth business. So many people don't know these numbers, and I'll be honest with you, when I started, I didn't either. When I first started my business and got paid, all I saw was that $300 in my bank account. And what I didn't account for was what I spent to get to the event, what I spent to run the event. And before I knew it, every dollar I was getting was going right back out the door and some. And I wasn't making any money for myself. All right, so if you're just starting, like, how on earth are you supposed to know what it takes to run a business? Valid question. So I think one of the first things I want you to kind of do is decide on how many events that you want to do in a year. And this could be, hey, I want to do one every single weekend. I want to do 52 events this year. I want to do 100. I want to do 200. I want my business to do 500. I want my business to do 12. Whatever that goal is, you can start using that as a guidepost for how much income you can expect if you reach that goal. And you can also price out how much it's going to cost you per event. And that is going to be essential information to understand. It'll help you know how much you should price your services at. Off the top of my head, some of the things that you should be thinking about are software subscription. Do you have a CRM? What does that cost monthly? I have HoneyBook. It costs me $39.99 a month. Do you use editing software for your templates? Do you use Canva? That's $12.99 a month. Are you running ads? How much is your website costing you per year? How about insurance for your business? How much is that costing you? All of those little things really add up. So I want you to think about every single dollar amount, every single expense that goes into operating your photo booth business. Even like if you're paying monthly, if you're paying a credit card that you use to purchase equipment, put that in there as well. Write down every single thing that you need to consider in expenses. And then here's the biggest mistake I see. And I know because I made this exact same mistake. You have to include the cost of your time. When I started, I was working so much in my business. And while I did implement the profit first strategy of allocating my finances, I never considered or tracked how much time I was spending on each event. When I finally sat down to review, I realized I was negative every event. And here's the bad news. That is not scalable. Duh, right? You can't scale a business that isn't making money and that isn't profitable. The math just doesn't math. It doesn't add up. It's incredibly important to have a clear understanding of how much time you are spending on your business and allocating compensation for that within each event too. Here's the thing, if you're watching this, it's probably because you want to grow, you want to scale, you want to be profitable, you want to pay yourself. And so it's incredibly important to have a clear understanding of how much time you're spending in your business and compensating yourself per event. One day you'll be able to replace yourself at an event and higher attendance, but you have to know these costs first before you can make those decisions to grow and scale. So those are some tips to consider when pricing your services. Now, let's get to this poll that I've been talking about from my Instagram account. So when I asked photo booth owners to share with me their pricing, I got over 50 submissions. And some of them from all over the world, literally Africa, Europe. It was crazy how many of you responded and submitted some of your pricing. And what was truly shocking was the response I was getting from people saying that they know that they're too low. And one thing I do want to keep in mind here is that everyone had different packages. Some were 2 hours, some were 3 hours, some included prints, some were only digital, some were only drop-offs. So I don't want you to take this information as like, oh, everyone is this price or this price. There was so much variety and in how these all were packaged. So this is not a hard and fast rule. I don't want you to take it as that at all. This was just a general poll to just get an idea of how people were pricing their services. So take it with a grain of salt, but everyone's packages and pricing are going to be different. How you price your services is going to be different and should be. All right, so let's show the results of that poll. The lowest number that I came across that was submitted to me was $200 for a package. And the highest number submitted was $2,000 for a package. Do you see that difference? 200 to 2,000. That was such a huge gap. The average of all the submissions came out to exactly $471.47 for the lowest package, $976.45 for the highest. And what's so funny is when I pulled this and did all the averages, those were really close to my prices when I first started for a really long time until I looked at my expenses and realized I wasn't making any profit. I knew if I wanted to scale and grow my business, I had to increase my pricing. And here's the thing, I didn't wait until January to increase my prices. You'll probably notice a lot of people in the industry, especially events industry, I've seen a lot of photographers, videographers do this. In January, change their prices. It's kind of like a known thing, but you don't have to do that. There's no rule about that. You can change your prices whenever you want. And so that's what I did. And I also didn't make a public announcement about it either. I just did it. I just changed my prices and no one was any the wiser. Some people who were kind of ghosting me and weren't responding, who kind of came across my page and saw that I increased, were like, oh, wow, you changed your prices. And I'm like, yep, too slow. But anyways, that's the beauty of entrepreneurship and owning your own business. There's no rules. You make the rules and you run your business how you want to run your business. So I've shared a lot today, but what I want to leave you is with a tool that actually helped me so much. And it's the profitability calculator from Catalina's course called the Photo Booth Blueprint. I have the link to the course below. And once you get on that landing page, you'll see a pop-up to get your free profitability calculator. It is super easy to plug in your package, plug in your numbers, and see for yourself if you truly are profitable. See for yourself if you hire somebody at $20, $25 an hour, how many people could you employ? And would you be able to afford to hire people and have them run the business for you? And maybe even like, what are the changes you need to make in order to make your business something that you can scale and grow? It is one of the most insightful tools I've ever used for my business. And I recently just plugged in my new prices and I was very happy to see that I was profitable. And it was something too that I was like, I'm not as profitable as I wanted to be. Like, what can I switch around here? So definitely take advantage of that. I'm so excited to be able to share that with you guys. And I just want to leave you with this. Pricing can be, it's just such a personal topic. And trust me, I remember the moment I heard someone was pricing their services for over $1,000, and I literally, it's a core memory now because I sat there and I was like, there's no way someone can do that. And I was like, well, why not? And it was really confronting moment for me in my life where I was like, we have the same photo booth. Why can't I do that? They're successful. Like, why am I so low? Why am I a quarter of that price? And I changed my pricing. It was a little bit of an uphill battle because the people that I had been targeting could now not afford my services. So I had to target a whole new market. And that might be something that you encounter too. Whenever you change your pricing, you're gonna have to re-strategize on how you're gonna reach new people who will be attracted to this pricing and who will pay these prices. And I'm happy to say now my lowest package is $7.99. It's digital only. All of my print packages are well over $1,000 and I am still booking consistently. I don't want you to be scared of changing your prices. It is something you have to put so much time and attention into. It's worth it. You're worth it. And there are so many other nuances with this too, right? Like are you pricing corporate different than weddings? Are you doing birthdays differently? And that is, again, a personal decision for you, your business. I don't. My pricing is my pricing. And the offers that I offer corporate client versus weddings are different, right? So a corporate client is going to add on a printed backdrop. A corporate client is going to want to wrap the photo booth. A wedding client is gonna want a memory book. So there are base package prices that I then add on other unique services that make it unique and special and serves them well. So much to talk about, so many things to consider when you go to pricing your photo booth. But I hope this has been helpful and insightful. And I hope you go check out that free profitability calculator and really, really set your prices correctly. I think it'll change your life. It did when I used it and I implemented it in my business. And so I'm so excited. And I hope it's really helpful for you. Make sure you're subscribed. I have a ton more content coming out very, very soon. And it's gonna be great. Thank you for tuning in and we'll chat soon.